Ethan Hawke is here. We just saw a clip of FX's The Lowdown, which premieres tomorrow on FX, streaming the next day on Hulu. Here on the Rich Eisen Show. You are from the state of Texas originally, correct?
That's right, yeah.
All right, and so your sports teams are based in your childhood, or you've evolved as a human, or where are we right now?
There's evolution, and then there's de-evolution.
Okay.
I started my life as a diehard Cowboys fan. I mean, you have to understand, I was 12 years old when the Cowboys beat the Orange Crush, Denver Broncos, Roger Staubach, Tony Dorsett won the Super Bowl, and I thought God loved me best. You know, I thought I was a winner. You know, and then here's the thing.
Yes.
Then the next year, the Iron Curtain fell on the reign of the Dallas Cowboys.
Yes,
Terry Bradshaw,
sir.
and I was 13 years old, and I remember going out back the house and just weeping. It seemed like an unjust world. It seemed, it was the first like awakening that, you know, that life just wasn't going to always go your way.
Sports is an excellent metaphor for that sort of stuff.
Since then, I have found that constant observation of athletics has more to teach you about the fundamental natures of mankind than Tolstoy does, okay? I mean, I enjoy watching people. You know, you can see through athletics when their own hang-ups get in their own way.
Sure.
You see the positive manifestations of excellence, and then you see people go mad with power. You see it's all right there for you. And unlike the rest of life is so nuanced and gray, and the truth is multidimensional. But sports, you know, there's stats. I remember
I was about to say, wow, this Steelers Super Bowl win. It's really left a mark on you, sir.
My mother, you have to understand that my grandfather
Yes.
was a baseball manager. He was part owner, baseball manager, and lead sports writer he was the Abilene Blue Sox, right? And he was also lead sports writer for the Abilene paper.
I did not know this.
He covered his own games, and which is
Jerry Jones, I think.
So that was pretty fun. And he was, you know, the Abilene Blue Sox were one of the farm teams of the Brooklyn Dodgers. So he was one of the scouts hired by Branch Rickey to scout the Negro Leagues. And the pride of his life was...
Come on, did he find Jackie Robinson?
Well, he wasn't hard to find, okay?
Right.
Yeah, I mean, but he was one of those scouts that was part of breaking the color barrier and was the pride of his life. And it brought my whole family into an awareness of seeing sports as a positive aspect, a force in society.
Sure, yes.
Yeah, and so my mother equates everything with sports. And I remember when Boyhood came out, she called me and she said, you know, couple more hit movies and you could make the Hall of Fame. I was like, Mom, there is no Hall of Fame for us, you know? She's like, yeah, but if there was, I think you gotta make it past 50.
Well, I sometimes think sports, Ethan, is like Boyhood, the movie, like about the marking of time. You know what I mean? Like it is where you're following a team and at some point in your lifetime, they finally win, like a Cubs fan or a Red Sox fan, you know, back in the early aughts when it finally broke through. I'm a Michigan Wolverine. When we finally won, I'm thinking about the times when, you know, I was in college. I'm thinking about the times when I got out of college and they came close and didn't win. It really is kind of like that.
It is. It's so interesting that you say, because I moved to New York in the late 1989, you know, and I started being a Knicks fan. So I missed when the Knicks were champions.
Yes.
Right. But I came on with Patrick Ewing. Right. And I remember one of my good friends called me up when Pat Riley left New York, and he was near tears. He's like, don't you understand? We're not going to get a championship banner until our kids are in their 20s. You know? And it was like, this is such a setback. It's like, we're about to lose a decade. Yeah. And he was right.
Well, and unfortunately, they're probably in their 30s now, and you're still waiting. Ethan Hawke is here on the Rich Eisen Show. The Lowdown premieres tomorrow, 9 Eastern on FX, and streaming the next day on Hulu. We have a game, Ethan. We like to...
Oh, boy. I like games.
It's called Celebrity True or False. We've got some facts about your career. We want to know if they're true or false. And we've got great production value to kick it off. Hit it, please.
Celebrity True or False.
You can't handle the truth.
That's all we got.
That was good. I like it.
Celebrity true or false.
Jack Nicholson
There
kicks
you
you
go.
off.
Ethan Hawke, celebrity true or false. True or false? When filming first began on Dead Poet Society, you thought Robin Williams didn't like you. Is that true?
Well, that is true because my character was really shy and really insecure. And, you know, I'm 17, 18 years old, and I'm desperate to be like, I want to be a great actor.
Okay,
right? And
sure.
so I'm trying to get into character, and I'm trying to imagine, you know, the reality of the situation. And my character would not find any of Mr. Keating's antics funny. He would be too nervous. He wouldn't enjoy it. So Robin, he's one of those people that he could sense anybody in the room. If you weren't laughing, all energy went to you until you were laughing. He'd make fun of you. He'd do, and so the more he tried to make me laugh, it wasn't that I didn't find it hysterical. It was that I thought he was messing with me because I was trying to do a good job.
Yeah.
And so the more I would see if I laughed as a failure, you know, and it made him insane so that he was just mocking me constantly. But then I found, you know, then he helped me get an agent when the whole show was over.
Oh, so then you found out that he did respect what you were attempting.
Yeah, and that felt really good.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I got this call from, you know, it was some agent's assistant, you know, said, we're here for Mike Menschel. He's a talent representative for Robin Williams, and we've been told that you're a talented young man. We'd like to meet you. And
Wow.
Okay, where?
Do you remember a line that Robin went off script with to try and make you laugh? That you didn't laugh at, or what? Do you remember anything like that?
My favorite at the time was Carpe Per Diem. You know,
Okay.
because you know we were all living in Delaware, and you know, and we were staying in some low rent Marriott.
Yes.
Robin would make everybody laugh by what were they doing their per diem, and then instead of Carpe Diem,
Yes, of
he would
course.
say Carpe Per Diem. Can I have yours? You know.
And you didn't go for it, is what you're saying.
And he was too funny to sit here, and his brain works so fast.
Yes.
I mean, if Josh Charles or some of the other guys were here, I might get the memory block going.
Josh is one of our favorites here. I've known him forever.
He's a diehard sports fan.
He's a diehard Ravens fan. I mean, you know, tonight's the Monday night game. I'm sure he'll
big
be.
game.
He will. I would be stunned if he's not going to be there with his boy Rocco and his whole family. But you and he did what's the last thing you did with him?
Well,
again?
the last thing we did, Taylor Swift was doing a Fortnite video, and she wanted. Somehow, I guess she had the Tortured Poets Department was the name of her album, and it was kind of paying some secret homage that she understands to the Dead Poets Society. So she asked Josh and I to be in the video. And you would think, you know, everybody's a huge Taylor Swift fan, but Travis Kelce came on set, and all Josh Charles wanted to do was I didn't know what game he was talking about, but there was a bad call in a Ravens.
So when was it? Was it 2 years ago? Was it just last year?
Yeah, 18 months ago or
So
something.
then it might have been was it the opener? Or was it? It had to be the AFC Championship game that they lost.
Yeah. And there was
outta
apparently a
here.
and he's bringing up this call. I'm like, Josh, let it go. And he's like, but seriously, didn't you think that was a bad call? I mean, you didn't think that was the right call. And Gus is like, hey, listen, you know, you're a Ravens fan. You're gonna see it through those eyes. We just take what we can get. He's being super polite. You know,
Travis was.
Yeah, super respectful, really wonderful young man. And he's just trying to be classy. But Josh is like, no, admit it was a bad call. Admit it was a bad call. I can tell by the way you're not saying it's a bad. And it's like, Josh, get over it.
Wow.
Yeah, 17-10.
Was Taylor Swift witness to this whole thing?
Yeah, but, you know, Josh doesn't. All he cares about is the Ravens, you know.
Oh, that's die hard for you right there. All right, next up, true or false? When you auditioned for Training Day, you almost told Denzel Washington off because he kept going off script on you.
Okay, that's an exaggeration. I would have to say that's false. I will say what I didn't know is that Denzel was trying to get me the part, and there was a lot of pressure on the studio to hire somebody else.
Okay.
And he really wanted me to play that part, so I had to come in and screen test. And he was trying to show that I could play. And so, like, I prepped these 3 scenes, and Denzel came in. It's like, he didn't even, we were just improvising, and it was hard. I didn't almost tell him off.
Okay.
I mean, that's absurd.
Okay.
I almost burst out crying, thinking I failed. I'm not some radical tough guy. I didn't almost cry either. I don't like the way that sounded. But I mean to say, it was challenging situation.
Yes.
And I left the room thinking like I just walked into a moving propeller, you know. And then I got the part, and then I was like, oh, they like me. And then I went on to have one of the best experiences of my life.
Well, I mean, that makes sense on that front because it's such a seminal movie on so many different ways. And what was your favorite scene you did with Denzel that sticks out, or any story about going off book with him there, or anything? You got something for me on Training Day?
In all seriousness, that experience changed my life. It's like, you know, we're on an athletic program here, and when you see, you know, like sometimes a player is struggling and they show talent, and then they go to a team that has great culture,
sure,
and they thrive. When you watch excellence and how it's achieved, Antoine Fuqua was the director, and he's a great director, and he gave me a lot of confidence and trust, and his relationship with Denzel was remarkable, and they showed me what excellence on a film set really looked like. I'd seen it as a kid on Dead Poets Society and stuff, but now I was 30 years old, and I have, you know, you start to have more agency. When you're a young person, you're just kind of doing what people tell you to do and trying not to drown. But you don't unsee excellence at that level. You know, you watch how people tie their shoes. You watch how they think about showing up on time. You watch about how they treat hair and makeup. You watch all the details that go into being able to thrive on a set. So to say that there's one singular moment almost belittles the whole experience.
Understood. I get it.
Every day was, I was learning things about freedom, about relaxation, about what leadership looks like, what creativity, because a lot of times, like when you're in a artistic experience where there isn't any money at stake, everybody's creatively free, right? And then you get into a big Hollywood studio movie, and Denzel was still free. And he showed me that you create the environment that you're working in. You don't have to wait for people to create it for you. He created a positive working environment.
Well, that speech about King Kong and all that sort of stuff.
If I had to point, that speech was not scripted, and it was an unbelievable fireworks display on set. It was late in the shooting, and we had been doing drive-arounds with police officers, and he had been learning, and he had I don't want to speak on his behalf, it makes me uncomfortable, but his creativity and his depth of imagination of the way he was exploring that character, you know, it just exploded in that final monologue, which was, you know, pure vintage Denzel Washington.
But you're a fellow actor on a set, knowing he's going off book here, right? And you're thinking what as you're watching it?
Well, I was thinking that's what he was training me for at that screen test. Roll with it, baby. Roll with it. You know?
I love it. Ethan Hawke here. Next up for you. True or false, you gave the song Stay to Reality Bites director Ben Stiller, who used it in the film. And is that true or not?
That is totally true. And I'm a little proud of this because, you know, don't Google this, but I was told this anyway, that is the first unsigned artist to ever go to #1 in the history of rock and roll, because Lisa she didn't even have a label. And I rapped Reality Bites, and I went to some little...
Look at that picture.
Yeah, wow. That's me and my cat, Mardo. And Lisa was a part of my theater company, and I went to see her play after I finished Reality Bites, and she played this song, Stay. And I was like, this song is perfect for this movie I just finished. You got to record this song and give it to me. So she went home and recorded on a little home 4-track device, and she sent it to me. And this is not in the email days, so this is easy. And I put a little envelope and I sent it to Ben, and Ben listened to it, and he put it on the end credits, which is the prize spot for music in movies. And it was perfect for it. And so, wow, I've never seen that photograph.
Are you serious? I don't know where we found it, but I mean, we're always digging.
Yeah,
we're always digging.
That cat. I love that cat.
What was your cat's name again? Marlo?
Mardo. That's the lead female character from Kerouac's Subterraneans, and I was you can't tell by my hair and everything, I was in a big Kerouac fan.
Look at that.
Yeah.
Pretty cool. Last one for you, true or false. For decades now, you've been constantly mistaken for Mark McGrath from Sugar Ray.
I can see that, actually.
Yeah,
it's so
totally,
easy.
Man.
Is that true or false? Is that true or false?
For decades now gives this implication that it happens all the time.
Okay.
It does occasionally happen. Okay. And the thing about, being a celebrity, right, is a lot of people don't care who you are. They just care that they recognize. I could be Lee Harvey Oswald for all they matter. They're just like, oh, you're famous. You're Kevin Bacon. You're Matt Dillon. You're, Matt McGrath. You know what I mean? It's like they just recognize you and don't know who you are. I mean, he's a cool dude. And by the way, his music was crazy popular. They used to play one of his songs at the Knicks all the time. So I love that guy.
So maybe they come up to you and say, hey, great song. I have no idea.
If they do that, I just say thank you.
Have you signed an autograph for somebody who's actually?
I've signed Kevin Bacon's name before.
Oh, Kevin Bacon!
That is amazing.
That's good.
Because
Kevin Bacon.
What
really?
happens to you is some sweet kid comes up to you and is like,
nice.
Kevin Bacon, you're my favorite actor, and it means so much. And their hands are shaking, and so you don't want to say, I'm not Kevin Bacon, right? But I want to tell you a funny story about that.
Sure.
I was living in Atlanta. I'm about 12 or 13 years old, and I'm going to see North Dallas 40. I should not be going to see my mother.
I would agree with that. Okay. Parental guidance would be suggested.
I'm going to see North Dallas 40, and I highly recommend, by the way. And you know who's in the movie theater? Fran Tarkenton. And I know it's Fran Tarkenton.
Okay.
And I go up to Fran Tarkenton. I'm like, Mike, you're Fran Tarkenton. And the guy's like, no, I'm not. Get away from me. And I'm watching how evasive he's being and the half. I'm like, no. And I go up to him, you are Frank Tarkenton. And he goes, get away. And I'm like, but that's Fran Tarkenton. And it was.
It was.
Fran Tarkenton was going to see North Dallas 40 in a movie theater in Atlanta. I don't know why.
Damn.
But I'd bet
normally he's got
money on it.
Normally he's got escapability on his own, as opposed to telling you to leave. Normally he's got a quick first step.
I think about it every now and then when a kid annoys me or something like that when I'm walking to the airport, because I'm like, one part of me thinks, well, don't treat this young man the way Fran treated you. And then another part of me thinks, well, Fran did it. I can do it too.
He's in the Hall of Fame.
He's in the Hall of Fame. And listen, sometimes it's annoying.
Right. Okay. Dude, what a pleasure having you on. I could go on and on with you, but please come back. I don't know if you're.
You got a great show. I appreciate being on here.
Yeah, and the Black Phone 2's in theaters on October 17th.
That's right.
You're in this film with Margaret Qualley, who's as red hot as they come. Bobby Cannavale is a favorite of ours.
Oh, he's, it's so funny you say, right before I went on, I was texting Bobby Cannavale and Josh Charles. Saying, I'm going on your show. Come on, tell me something. What should I say? And they're like, Josh says, tell them the Ravens are going to win tonight.
That's it? That's a good one?
Yeah. And Bobby said, you'll do fine. Just relax.
Because he doesn't want to talk about the Jets.
Oh,
that's
that
right.
That was epic. That was an epic failure
I know,
last night.
But Bobby could have given you that script before the game.
He could have, and he would have predicted it.
Oh, my God. Bobby's one of our favorites. And again, that's in theaters in Los Angeles and New York on October 17th, nationwide on the 24th of October. And please check out The Lowdown tomorrow at 9 Eastern on FX, streaming the next day on Hulu. Thanks again for coming on, brother.
Thanks for having me.
Amazing.
Ethan Hawke here on the program. Hey, you made it all the way to the end. Thanks for that. Check us out every single day streaming live on Disney Plus and the ESPN app, 12 to 3 Eastern.